Now, there is a big advantage to really learning to see the world from your customer's point of view. And I'm going to use a story to illustrate just how powerful this can be. In the southern part of Canada was a gentleman about 6'2" named John. In fact, he was Dr. John because he had made the decision to become a dentist. In fact, he made the decision to become a dentist for children, a pediatric dentist. And he opened up his practice with the full intention of making a good living. He wanted to put some money in his pocket. So he went about working at Dr. John's Pediatric Dental Clinic. But after 3 years, he just wasn't making the kind of money that he'd really hoped for. So he started attending seminars to learn a little bit more, see how he could improve his business. And at one of the seminars, they talked about exactly this key point. See the world not from your point of view at 6'2", but from your customer's point of view. In which case, in his practice, the customer was, about yay tall, maybe 8 or 9 years old. Now, he thought about it and realized that from his point of view at 6'2", he'd probably never really seen what his business looked like from his customer's point of view. And he made a personal commitment to himself the next day to go in a little bit early before the place opened up and everybody else came and look critically at his business from the customer's point of view. This is what happened. He went walking into work a little bit early the next day, and he came up to the door of the clinic. Right above the door, in big black letters, it said, Dr. John's Pediatric Dental Clinic. And he paused, and he stood back, and he looked at that, and he realized that he had never met anyone 8 or 9 years old who could say properly or possibly spell the word pediatric. But that's what the medical industry called it, so that's why he put it there, to be in alignment with the medical industry. And then he reached for the doorknob, and the doorknob was a nice brown, brass, round doorknob. It had one of those deep brown sheens to it. And in the sheen, on all the nice shellac, he could see these slimy little fingers that were going down the round doorknob. And he thought, ugh, as he went to touch it. And then he paused and thought to himself, why is it like that? And he realized that the little children must have been trying to open the door. But because they were reaching for a round brass doorknob, their little fingers couldn't grip, and so they just slid down and left those slimy little trails. And he paused and, gosh, why is my doorknob like that? And then he remembered, that's exactly the same as the one that he has at home. And he liked it so much at home, when they set up his clinic, they said, put the same doorknob there. And then he went ahead and he opened the door and looked inside. And there was a beautifully upholstered waiting area. The rug was about this thick, and there were business magazines and bridal magazines and home magazines and travel magazines and food magazines. And on the floor, and every once in a while, there was a little ball or a crayon or a truck that it seemed to have escaped from the corner over there where the children had a little area to play. And as he kicked one of the balls over, he remembered hearing the parents also saying, Johnny, Johnny, you go back to your corner. He thought to himself, why is my waiting area set up like this? It's certainly not for the 8 or the 9-year-old. It must be this way for the parents.